Welcome to Vivid Dreams, y'all. This vivid dream today is going to be about a hiking son and father that's experienced, but when they go to take this trail is a death trap. The dream that his father is going to have is going to come to reality. So if you are into these type of stories, as you know I'm new to telling them, please smash the subscribe button because it really helps my channel. And I want you to eat in front of the like button until it gets really mad and jumps over onto your plate and try to take your food, and I want you to smash the like button right on your plate. And make sure y'all keep that notification bell on so y'all don't miss any of my 3 to 4 weekly episodes. All right, let's get into this vivid dream. This dream starts out with a father and a son who used to go to different hiking trails and stuff, and they was really experienced hikers, and they said eventually they was going to go to this one trail where not a lot of people can get across this trail. So they packed their bags one week and they jumped in the car and they drove down and they barreled down the street until they got to the destination. They looked at the mountain and it was beautiful. It was everything they imagined, but what they didn't know is how treacherous these mountains was known for storms. So they pack, they go on a little thing and they talk to people, and you know, a lot of other hikers there that was talking about they was going to hit the trails, but they wasn't going all the way up. And there's a little pit stop that's right in the middle of the mountain where they probably stop off there and wait for the weather to pass. The father and son was so experienced, they said, I think we're going to take this hike and we're not going to wait for the storm. We're just going to keep going. It all started off as a beautiful walk. And they was walking, they were talking and just catching up on good old times of other hikes they did and trying to compare it with the hike they were on and talking about how people was sizing it and, you know, this hike is not all they talked it up to be, and, you know, just speaking basically in general about this hike. Well, as time persists and they keep talking about the hike and stuff, it would start getting a little incline, and you'll see the tiredness and the fatigue start kicking in because they've been walking for hours at this point. And there's other hikers walking and they talking, they doing the same and stuff. But eventually, as they walking and stuff, they would start noticing that the people was veering off and they were starting to go towards this duckout, I guess you want to call it a duckout, like hideaway bar or something, just the place that they were supposed to be at until the weather had passed. So the father and son, they thought about it, and people was out there convincing them. Other hikers were saying, please, don't take this hike. Don't keep going. Y'all should just come on back, wait till the storm passes, and then you have a good time and you can continue your hike. I'm not telling you not to go all the way to the top or anything like that, but please just wait for this weather. Please wait for it to pass. The father looked at the son. The son was like, Dad, we probably should. Now, mind you, the son is not young. He's a good 19, 20 years old, and he's like, Dad, I'm kind of second guessing this too. I mean, it's a lot of people saying we shouldn't go. And the one other guy that was over prepared, he actually said, I'm not even going to go. But the father insists, he says, nah, we got this, son. Come on now. This will be good bonding time for us, and we can get out there, and if it gets worse come to case scenario, we'll camp out somewhere. But what they didn't know is that this storm that was coming was one of the hardest storms, and it would actually make history. But we're going to get into what storm that was in a second. Back on the ranch, the father and them go ahead and starts veering off and continuing. But the guy did leave him one last note. He said, look, if you run into the big crystal looking rock, then you know you are on the right trail. You'll keep going that way, and you'll make it to another point where it's another barn stuff, and that's the top, and it has a view spot and a camera thing you can see out the window. You get a nice view of everything around you. But you got to make sure you see that rock. Don't get it confused, because there's another rock that's off to the right, and that one will lead you in the wrong direction. So the father and son proceeded to start walking. They said, thank you for your advice, and we'll take that under consideration. Once the father and son left and they started hiking this trail and they started walking, as they were walking, they see the clouds start coming in, and they can see the mountains from a distance is turning very white. So they know it don't have much time before the day ends. You know what I mean? It's starting to get dark, and they see the moon coming out now, and they noticing that everything is starting to slowly drift downhill. And not only that, it's starting to get chilly and the wind is picking up. But not no normal wind. By the time they were walking for about another hour or so, the wind got so strong and the hill got so steep, and he like, we almost there, and they struggling and they trying to get through it, and then eventually the son said, Dad, I'm sorry, I just can't do it no more. Now mind you, they got to a level part of this mountain where it straightens out, so they know they on the right path. They already seen the big rock, and they got the big rock correct and everything, so they was on the right path. And they couldn't see, the visibility was so low, and they struggling, and he's straining, and he covering his eyes and trying to do everything to get there. And he said, come on, son, we just a little further. But when he looked back, he already could tell that his son had laid down. And he said, Dad, I'm sorry, I'm done. So his father knew he couldn't convince his son to go anymore. His son was burnt out, and he's like, you know what? He's seen his son, he's like, we could just stay here. I'm gonna walk a little more ways up just to see, but if not, I'll come back and we can stay here. So the father walked a little more ways up, and then he came back. The son had his tent thing set up and his sleeping bag. So the father didn't want to really get right up beside him. So the father kind of gave him some space, and then he set his tent and stuff up in his camping site, and he would camp right there. And they both would go to sleep. In the father's sleep, he will realize that he's having a vivid dream. And in this dream, he hears noises, and there's screaming in the background, and there's screeching noises, and then he hears a help, and he also hears something like wreckage noises, and sound like something scratching something, and something ripping tents apart. And he just had this really bad dream. I mean, to the point where it was so cold outside stuff, but he even broke a sweat in his sleep because his dream was so realistic. And he'll wake up, and he just pop up out of his dream, and he's look around, and he says, he look out the tent to check on his son, and he sees his son's tent is still right there. From what he could see, the visibility was pretty low, but he's like, okay, I'm just gonna tax it off, and I'm gonna go back to sleep. So once he lays down and he's back sound asleep, eventually the morning time will come, and the sun will come up, the storm is past, and he'll get out of his tent and look around. He'll see his son's tent, and now he can see it clear. And what he saw was, last night he did see the tent thing sticking up, but that campsite was totally torn apart. The storms had came in so strong that it practically ripped that tent apart. So he ran over there to see if his son was there, and his son was nowhere. So he maybe thought his son went off to the bathroom, and then it struck him. If my son's tent is this messed up, why isn't mine? Now he got worried, so he said, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave everything the way it is just in case he comes back, and I'm gonna run up to this place and get help. What he didn't know is, once he started trying to run to find this place, him and his son was only less than a quarter mile from the place. Had they kept walking for just 10 more minutes, they would have reached that place. On the other note, the largest search in history will go out. You talking military, you talking Air Force, police, rangers, hikers, to go out and look for this son. And no one ever found him. His son was completely gone. His son never returned to the campsite. And now in 2023, up to this day, this man still wonders what had happened and where is his son. If you are into these type of stories, please smash the notification bell because it really helps my channel, and you won't miss any of my 3 to 4 weekly uploads. But don't forget to hit the like, and I'll see y'all. Peace.